Hello, this time I'm taking a crack for this season's 2020-2021 Serie A league predictions there. So 20 teams, once again, out in Italy. Who's going to top the lot, who's going to finish bottom and go down to the second tier? Well, you'll find out in this video, as the name suggests. So without further ado, let's start off at the 20th place and see what I predict. And I made these predictions based on the recent history, past 5 seasons for the clubs there, also the managers that have got, how many different teams have they managed before, have they been quite successful, long-term staying, and also the signings that they brought in the season, how much did they spend in total, all that sort of thing. I sort of tried to take into account and form my predictions that way, but of course I don't know everything, so feel free to put the comments in and say why you think certain clubs deserve to be a lot higher on the table than what I think they will end up finishing. So in 20th place, I'm going to go for Spezia. It's their very first time in Serie A history. So just a big round of applause for Spezia to making it this higher up. It's going to be one heck of a challenge for them to stay up for the next season. They currently got Vincenzo Italiano, so Italian manager, that might help. Doesn't really manage anyone as of note there. Union, Azabuj, Harbi, Trabani, Polo, and Ficotini Sands. So I haven't heard any of those clubs before, and it's managed since 2019. Biggest sign that they brought in was Jacopo Sala for $1 million, spent $1.5 million in total. So bats against the rules, but I will be supporting them to try and do well, try to stay up there, because it's a nice big lot of fun there going for some of these underdog teams, as I don't have any sort of connection with any of these clubs. It's just sort of just a fun league just to see and enjoy. And 19th place, they're going to go for Genoa. So Genoa, for them, past few seasons have been the best. Last season they got 17th, and the season before that they also got 17th, and it was both decided on a goal difference. So incredibly lucky just to scrape survival there. But can they do it for another season? Well, they brought in a new manager, Rolando Marson, who's managed lots of Cagilari, Cittadella, Brescia, Bari, Tresni, Felici, and Valsi. So that just weeks of second tier division clubs as well too. What else have I got about Genoa? And Genoa, they signed Andrea Pintamonte for $13.5 million, spent $23.5 million in total, but I don't think that will get them over the line. And 18th place, I'm going to go for Bologna. Bologna, they finished 12th, 10th, 15th, 15th and 14th past 5 seasons there. So they were going to be in the second half of the table and lower down in the second half of the table, and ultimately, unfortunately for them, I think they're going to drop off this season as well too. They got Sinsa Manajovic in charge since the 28th of January last year. He's managed Sampdoria for a couple of seasons, Torino for a couple of seasons, also Serbia, so national team experience could potentially help them. And Scott Lewis Binty's coming in for $100,000, and yeah, that was the big reason, because they only spent $100,000 in the transfer markets as of time of recording. And 17th place, they're gonna go for Beneveto. So Beneveto, a newly promoted club, and it's only their second ever appearance in the Serie A, because they were here 2017-2018 season, and this time I think it might end in success and them just surviving the drop. They got Filippo Inzaghi in charge since June of last year. He's managed AC Milan, Bologna, and Spezia. So AC Milan though was the big team he's managed. And their biggest signing, I can find it, Grand Luca Cagilari, coming in for 6.5 million, 19.43 million spent in total there. And 16th place are going to go for Udinese. Udinese, they got 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 17th past 5 seasons there, so that's pretty good consistency. And it's just one of those other seasons just to keep them alive in this division. Really tough for them to go on and push on for anything else. They've got Luca Gotti since November last year. He's managed the early under 17 team. Everyone else, I haven't heard of any of those clubs, so we won't go any further with that. For Udinese, they got Thomas Ojan coming in for 2.4 million and spent 4.4 million in total. And 15th place are going to go for Torino. Now Torino, 16th, 7th, 9th, past few seasons there. They have got Marco Giampaolo, manager, coming in August of this year. Has managed the likes of Sampdoria, AC Milan, Brescia, Cagilari as of note. They got Simeone Verdi coming off of 13 million and spent 30 million in total. My 14th place pick is Cagilari. They've got 14th, 15th, 16th past 3 seasons, so that doesn't get any more consistent than that, does it? They have got Embrario Di Francesco coming in since August this year, so mainly managed Sassuolo for a good 5 seasons. Their biggest signing, Giovanni Simeone, coming in for 15 million, spent 36 million in total. In 13th place are going to go for Sampdoria. Sampdoria, they got 15th last season, before that 9th, 10th and 10th. They've got Claudio Ranieri as their manager October last year, so you've got to know that manager there. He helped Leicester win the Premier League for the first time in their history and caused the biggest football or sporting upset of all time, of course, that 5,000 to 1 odds. So that was a remarkable achievement. He's also managed Chelsea for a good 4 seasons, my club, Fiorentina for 4 seasons. So gotta love the manager, but unfortunately don't want to cause too much bias. Hasn't necessarily done overly impressively in his management career, besides that Leicester achievement, of course. They got Mikael Strag coming in for 6.5 million, 17 million spent in total for them. And 12th place, going to go for Verona. They were quite impressive last season. They were getting all the results against the big clubs in the division, the likes of Juventus and Atalanta and Intermilan, and so they were nearly promoted. So that was just out of nowhere, out of left field, you could say. So they came 9th place the last season, and before that a few seasons in the second tier, and 20th when they were here last time, good 5 years ago. And they got Ivan Juric as their manager since June last year. He's managed Genoa for 3 seasons at 3 different time periods, so that's not too great, is it? Like, you manage Genoa, you get set, you come back again, you get set, and you come back again. It's like, yeah, what's going on there? Also managed Crotone and Mantova. And they have signed Kevin Wug for 5.4 million and spent a good 24 million in total. And on 11th place, they're going to go for Beneveto. So newly promoted team. I stuffed that up. They had Beneveto in 17th and also had Beneveto in 11th. So I don't know what I did there. I was supposed to have the other Who was the other newly promoted team to division? Because you could have just doing this on the fly now since I stuffed it up. Oh, Crotone. Yeah, Crotone was the other newly promoted side. So, Crotone, how much money they spent? I'm just making sure because yeah, I must have just put the one name in there. So we'll go through Crotone now then. So they got Giovanni Stropper in charge since 2018. Smashed like Spezia, the other newly promoted team, funny enough. Pesca, Fozzy, so that's weeks of second tier sides. Crotone, they've got Lecadio Magalian coming in for 4.8 million, spent 5.5 million in total. So yeah, Crotone, sorry, apologies to Beneveto fans there. I didn't put you in 17th. I'm putting Crotone in 17th. I'm putting Beneveto all the way up in 11th because they made some impressive signings, spending 19.4 million for a newly promoted club. Means that you're ambitious, fighting for things, can pull off the next Hellas Verona of last season there. So 11th place for Beneveto, which I already covered. And 10th place, I'm going to go for Sassuolo. Now Sassuolo, they finished 8th, 11th, 12th past 4 seasons there. They got Roberto Di Zubi coming in since 2018 last year. It's managed Beneveto, Dato, Palmerio, Fogba. Okay. They signed Gray Owi, D Fick for 8 million, 24 million spent in total for them. In 9th place, Fiorentina. They finished 10th last season, 16th before that, and then 8th and 5th. So it's going to be another one of those mid-table seasons for them. Giuseppe Luciani, coming in since December 2019. Managed quite a few teams, but it looks like only Brescia managed to stay there for a couple of seasons. So most of these managers don't last. They keep switching and changing every single year, as that's the nature of the brutal management situation there. You do poorly for a few matches, expect to get out of there quick, smart. Christian Combe coming in for 17.5 million. They spent 42 million so far this season. 8th place, going to go for Parma. Have a bit of a soft spot for Parma. 11th and 14th place the last couple of seasons for them. They were a historic great Italian club back in the day, but now they have to fight it out just like everyone else with their new reputation. Got Fabio Lavani coming in August this year. Managed Lecce, Genoa, Leyton Orient. They signed Roberto Inglis for 12 million, 43 million spent in total for Parma. And 7th place, Lazio. So pretty poor showing for Lazio here, but there is some reasons behind the madness. 4th place for them last season, 8th place before that, 5th and 8th previous seasons. Lazio, they signed Simone Izzani, but that's their manager since 2016, so that's one of the rare managers that's managed to stay for a few seasons, and managed Lazio youth caretaker as well too, so been involved for Lazio before his senior management. They have signed Gonzalo Esquani for 3.2 million. They only spent 4.6 million. Lazio only spending $4 million. What the hell's going on there? And they also lost a little bit of signings as well too. So basically they're sticking with their current squad, and that is a recipe for trouble. And 6th place, I'm going to go for AC Milan. AC Milan, for them, they came 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th place past 5 seasons, so they're always going to be there or thereabouts. They got Stefano Poloni since October last year. Bologna for 3 years. Lazio also managed to swallow Parma as of note. Okay, and AC Milan, they signed Brahim Diaz for 13.5 million, spent 28 million in total. In 5th place, I'm going to go for Napoli, and this is my chosen Serie A team since of last season when I started off these Serie A predictions and proper. So for Napoli, they came 7th last season, so that was absolutely terrible. But before that, 2nd, 3rd and 2nd. So yeah, Napoli still not where they supposed to be, you can say. Picking them to finish. They got Genoa, Lazio, December last year. It's really turned the club around because they were like edging towards the second half of the table before they got rid of that old manager. Also managed AC Milan, as a note there. Napoli, they signed Victor Osimhen for 40 million in total, so that's the only signing, but a good signing. In 4th place, they're going to go for Roma. Roma, they came 5th and then 6th past couple of seasons. Roma have got Polio Fonseca, June last year, managed like the Porto and Braga. They got Jordan Vertot coming in for 24 million, spent 85 million in total. And 3rd place, going to go for Intermilan. They spent the most money out of the teams there. 2nd place last season, 4th, 7th before that. Got Antonio Conte since May last year. He's managed Juventus for 3 seasons, Italy for 2 seasons, and Chelsea for 2 seasons. So they signed Akfi Hakamai for 54 million, 140 million spent in total. In 2nd place though, Atalanta, they were the top goal scorers last season by quite some margin there. I think it was a good 17-18 there. So Atalanta to finish 2nd. They got 3rd last season, 3rd before that. They're the new up-and-coming stars of Serie A. They got Gian Piero Gaspini since 2016 as their manager. And for 1st place, they're going to go for Juventus to win the title once again there. They just keep winning up past like 8 seasons or something ridiculous. They've got Andrea Pirlo, new manager, managed Juventus under 23, spent 4 years as a player, and they signed a good 77 million with Arthur, their top signing. So those are my Serie A predictions. Thumbs up, subscribe.